So I got this show started, right? I think it took me about 35 minutes or more, probably longer than that, to push this go live button. I was just sitting in this studio for a little bit. I started gaming on my Sims, and I just end up taking everybody to the family house. I just added somebody to the family that I'm gonna make over while I'm talking to y'all. All of that just began to happen sporadically. And I was like, let me continue the conversation I had yesterday. And so I come up here to have that conversation. And first of all, I come in here and I have no water. Okay. I just don't have no water. I'm like, my whole big jug of water, I done drunk all that down. I'm like, damn, okay. And when I went shopping, I didn't think to just buy like another big thing of water because I don't even get the bottles. I just, yeah. And so also I can also refill this bottle now. I don't have to. I can continue to use this big gallon of water and just go to the store and just refill a water bottle, the bottle of water, and buy another one and kind of keep doing it that way. All right, listen. So we're gonna continue from what we talked about yesterday, right? And it was a multifaceted conversation because I was like, getting to the basic subject of how everybody be like, about how women choose and type of males they choose or the type of partners they choose and all these type of things, right? And yes, it does matter who you choose. It even does matter who you choose financially and all these things. Even in the 48 laws of money, it states that you have to you have to you have to choose financially as well who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like not just someone with money, but someone who's good with their money, someone who's smart with their money. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's not a spendthrift with their money or wasteful with their money, things like that. But let's touch back on what we talked about yesterday. So the main thing I said to everybody is you got to go deeper, right? hmm We got to go deeper, and you got to go deeper because the going deeper will help you find the answer or help you see the answer. Not find it, but see the answer that enough that you need to see. And for those of you who has your eye on someone in particular that you want that person to be with you, but what's going on is you're finding that, how do I say this? You're finding that, they're not leaving who they're with, or you're not understanding why they're staying in that kind of dynamic of a relationship. You have to look at that person that you like and look at the person that they're with to give you an answer about who the person is that you like. You can't assume that this person is this and that and they need this and that and that and this. They got what they want to get and they got it. And that's who they are, by who they with. You have to look at people's actions and behaviors. You're with somebody and you've been friends with them for years, and they decide that they want to leave who they're with, okay? They want to leave who they're with for a mistress, right? That is telling you who that person is. You shouldn't even have that person on the roster of who you want to be in your life. And if you still want something like that in your life, that tells me a lot about you. You see how it works? You see, reputation is key. All right? Reputation is key. What's also key is association. And everybody's association is what makes them energetically connected to that association. They're in an argument of, fighting relationship, that's that person. Whether you perceive them being weak or not, that's that person. Anybody who's ever called me weak have been the weakest and going through the weakest shit in their motherfucking life. They can't even handle life. Anyone who's ever called me a weak person. But I have handled life much more stronger than many around me. I'm not saying it was easy, but I took my mind and I got through that shit. And every person that ever called me weak, I couldn't say the same for them. Any person that ever called me weak, I wouldn't even say that they would have did not even half of what I've done to get my life where it's at right now. Another thing to take note of. God damn it, y'all. I done saved my game. I should have waited. Another thing to absolutely take note of. Just let it roll. Is understand that no matter what happens in life, okay? Because there was a topic that was brought up, and I wasn't going there, but we got to go there. Even to the people out there who are divesting, who are saying, "Hey, I'm ready to divest from a certain race, group, lifestyle, whatever." Okay? Understand that even with that, you still bring you to the table. Okay? You still bring you to the table. Understand that you still have to look inside yourself of why you attracted that relationship and so forth and how you do that relationship. It still comes back to you. I use the example of the chick that came from the church and this and that, and her father's a pastor, her mother is the first lady, and all this type of stuff, and all this extra shit. And then you sit here, she's with this nigga that been in jail and shit, and she bossing him around, demanding him to do things after he done did some hard time in prison. While he got to take more time to get up on his feet. But she going off like he need to do this and he need to do that. And she married this nigga fresh out of prison. The stupidity of it all, right? Well, that particular person needs to look upon themselves. That particular person needs to look at why the hell did you live or come from this background? Why didn't you choose? I think this was her second husband, because I think she did have a first husband. And I think the first husband, if I'm not mistaken, he was in jail too. Why didn't you choose somebody from the church? You grew up in the church all your life. So why you didn't choose nobody from there? Hmm? Why didn't you choose somebody from there? Why did you see what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be logical? Then we wouldn't have a love after lockup show. Oh, maybe he was from your church and you still kept him in your life and then you married him. Okay, that makes sense. But no, that's not the story. That's not the story. And you have all of this going on. Foolishness. But why does it happen where you see these chicks that come from a certain type of lifestyle? Because the dudes do it too. Come from a certain type of lifestyle and want to be with something the opposite of that lifestyle that they came from. Number one, they both attract each other. This is the whole, see, a lot of y'all take opposites attract in a way that is not meant to be. Opposites don't mean that everything about us, we don't have nothing in common. That's different. You could be opposites in lifestyles and backgrounds, but come together spiritually because there's something much more deeper what brings y'all together. Now, in the case of this person, see, or any woman like this is what I have observed from one woman, right? Now, shout out to the bestie. Shout out to you. Um, I remember we got into a conversation about a woman she called the crazy bitch, right? Who was an Aries. With for all the astrologers out there, she had a lot of Virgo on her chart. She had a little Cancer on her chart, but she had a lot of Earth water energy going on. And she was dealing with an Aquarius guy who was not fully divorced from his wife. Okay, so you got the background. But let's get into her. She has like two sets of twins, different baby fathers. Um, she had an opportunity to work as a doctor in the medical field. She blew that because for some niggas she went and stole medical products, so she lost everything. Because you know, medical, once you fuck up with that, that's it. You know, they don't play. You have that. You have people who you got people who what's the name? Uh that's her life. She didn't come from that. She didn't come from the hood at all. She didn't come from the streets at all. But she also was a fat girl all her life. And I presented it to my friend like this. I said, first of all, she's fat. So she probably never really fitted into the lifestyle of the people that she was around. Okay. And the people that her life that she fit around were probably the people from the hood, the people from the ghettos, the people from the streets, right? Now that might sound crazy. That may sound crazy, but it's not crazy. Because when you go to the hoods, you can slum it. You don't even have to be from there. You just dress a certain way, you just chill. And don't get me wrong, depending on what hood you go to, it might not be that easy for you to do that. Okay? So don't do that. Okay? But you got friends, you got people you rolling with, you can slum it. Okay? You can slum it. And when you slum it, it's just more fun. There's people that can tell you when I ain't have a job, I had the most fun. I traveled the most places. I did the most things when I didn't have a job. Get what I'm saying? So understand that. Damn, this is not even moving. Damn, I should have just let the game. I'm kind of regretting this. I should have just let the game play. Yeah, I should have just let them play, be with their family and stuff. Damn, I really like this gameplay. This was a really good one. Yeah, when I play this game, I can't get attached to the gameplay. If I lose it, I just lose it. You know what I mean? It was fun while it lasted, and we can do it another day. That's how this happens. Sometimes I just don't have the patience. Like after a certain while, I'm not waiting for it to save because it just to me it's stuck. Anyway, let me get focused here. So the thing is, it comes into, god damn it, it comes into the matter of, this is where I feel uncomfortable. These are the people who accept me. These are the people that I feel like I can trust. I'm speaking in general here. And so therefore, that's why that person goes into that area, goes into that life, and they slum it. Okay? Another thing, some people don't know. All right? That's another thing that nobody's mentioning. Some people don't know. Some people think that they can just go places, be around certain people, uh, do certain things, and all of this stuff, and they feel like all they have to do is just be there, have a good time, have friends, but they don't really know what they're getting into. Okay? They don't know what, how do I say this? Like, they don't realize that they're in danger. Does that make sense? They don't have a sense of danger the same way that others that live in the hood have a sense of danger. Does that make sense? I think it does. They don't have a sense of understanding that, you know, this ain't really the smart thing to do right now, or this ain't a smart place to be right now. Sometimes they don't even know how to follow their own intuition. If you really want me to keep it a buck with you, they don't know how to. Then you have people, the hood is fun to them. Okay? The hood is fun to them. Sounds like, that's usually for somebody who grew up. Yeah, it'll be fun as hell. My mother know your mother, and your grandmother know my grandmother, and they grew up together, to school together, probably went to the same college together, same school together. They probably fought together. Yeah, it's fun for them. And another thing is, for people who don't, I don't think this is a city. I don't want to so much put this on the city life, but depending where you live at and what kind of town that you are in, what you're going to experience is that there are people that are just going to cross past each other with each other, whether someone's in the suburbs or the hood, depending how they're raised. And um that's why I say that's why I think that people who have these kind of conversations, I just want to get into them a little bit more. What kind of life do they have? What kind of background do they come from? See what I'm saying? Like, and I'm saying this because I'm like, all right, you sit here and you say the things that you say about the people that you say these things about. Do you come from this background? Do you really know people like this? Are these the kind of people in your radar, or that's a part of your life in our lifestyle? Um, are these the people, like, I got a lot of questions. You know what I'm saying? I How do I say this? I I I I'm saying this. Wait, we get my thought back. As somebody who was a writer and someone who's a people watcher, I'm a big people watcher, and I'm a person who knows how to communicate to people. I even know how to test and trigger people. I could see people who are ticking time bombs. I could see people who are I could see so much, right? And I gotta thank for being in the hood for that. See? And therefore, these people who come into these spaces trying to blend in, what they don't realize, and you can check this out in 60 days in where people so-called try to infiltrate prisons, right? They don't realize that there's a high level of anxiety and PTSD of people who live in the hood. So someone's always watching and looking. No one trusts people. Someone's always observing. When you're a new person on the block, someone's watching you before they approach you. They may have been watching you from all the way in the middle of the project building, the back of the building in the park, and you may have not never noticed them, but they have been noticing you. And that's what's so dangerous about street people. And that's what's so dangerous about being from the street. Even if you got a little street in you, you're dangerous because you have the capacity to look amongst you and be like, that person is this, that, and this. This person's from the street. Is somebody calling me? Oh, that's an alarm. This person's from the streets. This person is out of. However, fill in the blank. So all these people who get in these relationships and get swindled the way that they do is because they don't know. And they need to tell themselves the truth that they don't know. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some that run the streets, some that decide to go, out and about in the hoods and other hoods and run the streets, and they fuck around and find out. But they run the streets long enough, they gonna get the wind of what the fuck is going on, what to do and what not to do and what's going on. They're gonna get a win. They're gonna get a win. And you got people who that happened to them and they still not street smart. Remember, everybody's a liar. Some of us are just better at it than you. Always keep that in your head. Someone's just a better liar than you. Someone's just better at deceiving somebody than you. And that is what these people walk into. This is why I'm kind of glad that my children was raised in the hood and that I'm glad my children was raised in the projects. To this day, my daughter is very, very bourgeoisie about who she fuck with and who she talk to. Till this day, she don't play. She don't fuck with everybody. She was good at picking good people to hang out with even when she was in the projects. The teacher even told me. Okay? And I see it for myself. And that's because of the environment that she came from. Have you ever noticed that there's people from the hood that are very good at choosing very, very good people to be with? Why? Because they have that good observation, discerning, watching people. They know, and they want something better than where they are. Why do people from these type of places that come to the hood get beat up and fucked up in prison so bad? Because it's like you got it laid out for you, but you want to come over here and slum it over here with us, and you ain't even understanding what we coming from. A lot of them people are in pain, y'all. Some of them chilling, but there's a lot of them that's in pain. There's a lot of them that's life is stressful for them because they have such a negative mindset. They don't know how to get out of where they at. Okay. A lot of people, they all they know is what they know. So you got to understand that there's something subconsciously in these people who are dating these people who subconsciously is trying to save somebody or think that they are better than the person and therefore they have better answers for their lives. I always had a problem with people from the church that pass out cards and stuff to people that are homeless, and I would read the card. Something just seemed so condescending about it. It was like trying to say, because you're not religious, this is why your life is this way type shit. It was just real fucked up. I just don't like it. I don't like people knocking on my doors and shit. If you believe in what you believe in, you shouldn't be at my door. I had one the other day, like, can I read it? I was like, no. Like, no, I was rude as fuck. No. Talk to them right through my window. Right through the window. Because I finally got to open my damn window. I would have been doing it. He got offended. I don't give a shit. Good. Don't come back no more. Because the thing is, it's stupid. But let's get back to it. I tell y'all all the time, people are stupid and people don't believe you are who you are because they don't know who they are. I've expressed this to y'all plenty of time. Okay? And I stand on what I say. Okay? And another thing, another major thing that I have come to find is the fucking dating world sucks. Do y'all not see this? The dating world sucks. It is not easy out here to date. It's not easy out here to have a relationship and keep it. Millennials and Gen Z people not living like that. And it depends on what level of life you on to understand that. People are ghosting, okay? People are ghosting. People are just breaking up. People are just giving up. People don't want to be bothered. People get abusive. People are just settling. It's been this way, but now it's just out there a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. And then I think about how people who people don't have these different dynamics and understanding of these different things. If you when you know yourself, when you walk into something, you know yourself. That's all that's important. You know yourself. And depending what kind of relationship you're walking into, either you're going to grow yourself in that relationship or you're going to remain in the ignorant self that you are. And I mean that. When you are ready to be in a relationship, people, you are ready to be in a relationship. Okay? These things sound so cliche, but they are very real. When you are ready to be in a relationship, you will be ready to be in a relationship. Your actions, your ways, things about you, the way you do things, the way you act, the way you feel, the way you express yourself, you will be ready to be in a relationship. All that romantic shit is a lie. That's man-made. All that fluttery, lustery, butterfly shit is a goddamn lie. A true relationship is reflection and looking at yourself. That's why the zodiac sign Libra is representative of relationships. Relationships is not a Nicholas Spark movie. It's not a romance book. It don't go like that. And relationships that go, why the fuck is it going in and out? And relationships that go like that, trust me, they fizzle in and they fizzle out. They fizzle in and they fizzle out every time. Oh shit, the computer doing that bullshit. Hold on, y'all. Oh boy. Hold on, y'all. Mac charger doing that bullshit. You hear that clicking? Oh boy. 1 second, y'all. Tech issues. Oh boy. It's doing that fuck shit. should have been got a new damn charger. I don't know why I didn't. Okay. All right, so like I was saying, oh hell no, we not having this. We not having this. Fuck. That's one thing about fucking Max, bro. Them fucking charges give out fucking quick. You gotta buy like 8 of them bitches. Happens too much. All right, so these relationships do not happen this way. That's a fact. Okay? They just don't happen like that. These relationships do not happen where, how do I say this? Where you're just all in love and whimsical and you're going out and you're having a good time and dates and this and no. Believe it or not, that stuff happens with time. It can happen in the beginning, yes, but with time, those things matter. But what really matters is the moments of time. It could be TV shows y'all watch together, conversations y'all talk about together. You know, something, cooking together, sitting in the car and talking to, who you're with on their lunch, their 1 hour, 45-minute lunch break. All of these things are the little intricate things that make a relationship. Okay? These are the little intricate things that make a relationship. Okay? There's other aspects of things that make a relationship, such as uh, how you feel about each other. And how you feel about each other does matter. How you talk to each other, the way you apologize when things go wrong, the way that you truly love one another, the way that, do I have to keep going? That's what a relationship is about. I think that people get too caught up in the whimsical part of what a relationship is. I think people get caught up in the part of what TikTok is showing you a relationship is, what Twitter is showing you a relationship is. Okay? I know I said Twitter, but you get what I'm saying. Social media, Facebook, all this stuff. That's not it. I know somebody, I saw a bunch of pictures of them and their ex marriage. All these beautiful things was being said. and I heard about how they got a divorce. And I said to myself, damn, these pictures are around the time of the divorce. You see how that goes? You see how it works? Because all of that was somebody trying to make something be what it was not with what they already had. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's how it always ends up being. I seen people whole ass get engaged online. Whole ass get engaged online, honey. And you know what happened? They broke up. And I said, damn, what happened? Y'all look so good together. He said, we look good together on paper, but it wasn't good behind the scenes. I said, God damn, gotta be more careful. Gots to be more careful. And this is what happens in relationships that people miss. But I don't have to go down that rabbit hole, right? We all grown here. I don't have to go down that rabbit hole. I would like to think that everybody that tunes into my show is actually older or at least grown. We don't gotta go down that rabbit hole. Or do we? When you grow up, you grow up. Things grow up with you. Things mature with you. You do things differently. You realize that everything that you was doing that was crazy in the arguings and all that stuff, you begin to grow and realize what's a healthy argument and what's not. There's healthy jealousy and stuff like envy and stuff, and there's unhealthy jealousy and envy. I'm starting to learn that. You know, I'm gonna go back to that conversation I recently had. And the person said to me, when you're in a relationship, it flows. Not all this arguing, not all this bickering, not all this back and forth. The relationship flows. That's what he said. When you're in a relationship, it's not all this extra shit going on. When you're in a relationship, when you're in a relationship, there's barely ever any arguing. So this person said. Said me and my wife only got in one argument. One argument. Some people really have relationships like that. Also expressed that how do I say this? They also expressed how relationships just flow. That was just the main thing that they was telling me. This the relationship's just gonna flow. Another thing that I thought was important to mention. You know, I really believe in my heart that y'all really are people when I listen to, because I barely listen to relationship, but from the time I have listened to it for all the years I've been alive, all of you, and I mean all of you, there we go, have this tendency, and I don't know what this is about, but y'all have this tendency to speak about things without experience. No experience. I listen to these people. Sometimes they talk to other people about their relationships and what they're going through, right? Sometimes they, you know, I mean, I hear it all. But I'm also realizing the person who talks about relationships the most are the ones trying to figure relationships out. They don't have relationships figured out. That's why they keep talking about it the way that they do. I realized that people, make sure I'm spelling her name right. People also don't know people. Okay? There are people who they don't have a sense of self. Okay? Like they don't like really ask somebody about themselves. Really sit down and ask somebody about who they are. Ask somebody about what they like. Ask somebody what do they even love about themselves. And I guarantee you there may not be a full answer to that. Do you follow where I'm going with this? Because I don't know if you really do. Actually, I mean, this chick fucked up her entire life, okay, on Love After Lockup, okay? And I mean it when I say that. Like she literally fucked up her entire fucking. She lost her virginity to a man in prison. So after that, she ended up dating another guy that was from prison, and another guy that was from prison, and another guy that was from prison, and another guy that was from prison. And that's going to be her pattern because that's energetically what she did to herself. I don't think that person will ever figure out the mistakes that they made for themselves and why they're dating people in prison. Here's the thing about when you come to be my age. You come to tell yourself the goddamn truth. Okay? The thing about when you come to be my age, you come to tell yourself, damn, this is who I am, this is how I am, and these are the things I might need to fucking change about myself. That's what happens when you come to be my age. But guess what? Some people don't have to come to be my age to get here before they really accept who they are and why they are the way that they are. So when you come to that realization for yourself, that's the moment that you begin to say, these are the things that I have to begin to change about myself. These are the things that I need to be doing different with myself. That's growth. That's absolute growth right there. But, 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 the thing about that is that what I find so interesting about it all is that there are people that they are the way that they are, and they're never going to change it. They're never going to change it. They're going to keep that energy up. They're going to keep being who and what they are, and that's that. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Oh, believe me, there's nothing wrong with being that way either. So why do they choose? They choose themselves, y'all. These people are simply choosing themselves. They're choosing who and what kind of person that they simply are. That's what they're choosing. Ain't no way around it. Ain't no other way to understand it. Trying to find this girl somewhere to sleep. It'd be kind of greasy for her to sleep in the garage. I wouldn't think that's fair. I'm not gonna sleep in here. Yo, I hear all y'all. Don't get me wrong. I do. I hear every last one of you. I hear what you have to say. I hear how you feel. I hear how you think. I hear it all. But from my experience in life and what I have seen throughout all these years and what I have grown to see, everybody is listening to, and I stand on this, the wrong fucking people when it comes to relationships. And I never say that. Everybody is not at all doing any sort of self reflection whatsoever. Everybody. I'm not seeing nothing different than I've seen before. And the reason why when I have these kind of discussions, I sound very serious because it is a serious discussion. And everybody's kicking and giggling about it, but not realizing that there are people really out here clueless and not understanding relationships. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everything is your fault. People are ghosty. People are socially fucking awkward. Okay? People are ghosty and people are socially fucking awkward. People lie. People come in relationships to escape from the relationship they currently was or in or was in. People deceive themselves. That's the biggest one. But what's important to know is you keep it moving. Talking to somebody, okay. And you find out, you talk to them and everything's going good, and you're just like, well, what happened? I'm back. All right, I'm back. So listen, I don't know what y'all heard, but like I said, this is the dating world that we're in. It's not an easy one. Okay? It's not easy. Taking way more chance. People out here cheating in their relationship, they just getting the best of both worlds for now. But when that relationship is over, that's why people get divorced and shit like that. They be fucked up. Okay? Because they realize that ain't shit out here. And there are people that'll tell you that the dating world is very fucking humbling. Okay? Will humble you. My situation and what I've seen with people, you got people who just ain't shit out here. Okay, this is pissing me off. This is pissing me off. Motherfucking I stole my motherfucking refrigerator. No. Okay. Get them. Ooh. Okay? Damn, they shot that motherfucker down in my house. I ain't expect that. My bad. I got distracted by my game. Refrigerator, that's some bullshit. Those who play the sim, y'all understand where I'm coming from right now, y'all. Y'all understand why I just got mad. You got the fucking you play the sim, you know why I just got pissed off. Burglar shit. But as I was saying, everybody, okay, got some shit with themselves. I don't care where you are. I don't give a damn what kind of part of the world you're in. Everybody got it. People got deep trauma that they have not fully healed through, that they are still working through. People got shit in their lives that when I tell you, I'm serious. They're vicariously living through other people because of their trauma. There are people that got trauma that they have not healed through at all. Okay? You guys, like, it's a lot. Here's another thing to think about, y'all. Why do people talk about it so much? I'm gonna tell you why. Hi, Lollipop. I'm gonna tell you why people talk about this topic so much. Because the type of people, the type of women, the type of character, and the type of look that carry on these behaviors. Okay? You get what I'm saying? And so people say, oh, so you trying to tell me all fat women act like this? All fat black women act like this? All women who look like this are all meth? All dudes who look like this are pining over some bitch that don't want them? People don't like to see the certain characteristics and things that comes with people's behavior and action. And I believe that's a part. I believe that's a part of why people get a little upset. Get what I'm saying? They be like, "Yo," you know what I'm saying? They be sitting here looking like, "Wait a minute, ain't no fucking way, nah." The all black women on the show ain't no way. All the white women are scamming these. Nah, ain't no way. All this shit. And this is a part of what makes people run to their microphone. Okay? There's also a thing where people are looking at something and they're like, there's no way that this can be true. That this many people are going through, like, everybody has a pattern. No, it is a way. It is a way. Because people who are sitting here dating people that are in jail tells you a lot about their character. People who are sitting here dealing with people with a certain type of way and lifestyle, that's telling you a lot about them. People who are sitting here, and I mean this, people who are sitting here going through the problems that they go through in their relationship that they just can't figure out, it's just telling you a lot about who they are. And that's just the facts. Some people like the drama, y'all. Some people like the attention. Some people want the fame. And some people just can't figure it out. Some people's self esteem is extremely fucking low. Everybody has this thing where I notice this, okay? And what I have come to notice is that there she go. Lollipop. You ever have somebody you watch their relationship life? Like you really watch their relationship life. And you really see all the situations that they have that go back and forth in their life and their relationship. You ever watch somebody who it's you see the pattern, but they don't see the pattern. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you sit back, like, okay, I remember this woman who she constantly just kept attracting, like it was just a pattern. You get what I'm saying? Like she did not see the pattern that she had. You get what I'm saying? She didn't see it. It was like, yep, my mom, she always attracts toxic men. I noticed the pattern, but she doesn't. And see here, and I know you just want to wait, but I'm gonna continue the convo. Here's the thing about that. She's not digging into herself or not trying to go that deep inside herself to even see why she is even attracting that to herself. She's not even seeing why. But I mean, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you the truth. No offense. I'm just say this, and I know you're gonna understand. I don't have to say no offense. If she's dating toxic males, then there are traits about her that's toxic. All right. And if that's a continued pattern in her life, again, it shows her personality and who she is. Okay? See how that works? Not coming down on your mama, but you get what I'm saying. Okay? All of these different things. Then there's another thing too to this. There's a major part in our lives, how we're raised, the homes that we come from. That's a major part of how we act and who we are. And the attitudes and the ways and all of these different things plays a major part in who we are. But how do we get through this? This is what the therapy and the self work is for, or what they call shadow work. This is what it's for. This is what the whole thing of even, how do I even say this? This is just the whole thing of why people even attract abusive relationships in their life. I definitely am not offended, but she is attracting a part of herself that she doesn't see, but I do. Yeah. See what I'm saying? I think that as a whole, with everything I'm saying here, the major thing is that when you begin to look at yourself and do your own therapy, you don't have to so called go to a therapist, you can do your own therapy. And when you do that, what begins to happen is you will see that, oh, that's why this happened. The fact that you even said to yourself, hey, how did I get here in my life? How did I end up in this relationship? How did my life get here? How did I end up in this level of a relationship? How did I end up living like this? How? All of these questions is the beginning of the first step of all the answers that you need. Just the beginning. And the number one thing I learned for me, I don't blame myself for the choices I made in my past. I don't blame myself for that shit. I don't even blame nobody. I don't blame myself and I don't blame nobody. I just tell myself, it ain't my fucking fault. It ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. And that right there was what I needed. And that right there was the awakening that I needed for myself. Am I hard on myself? Yes. And I had this conversation just yesterday. I said that's because I'm hyper independent. That's what comes with being independent. That's what comes with doing everything for yourself. That's what comes with having to figure it out for yourself. Even if I asked to get it done, I had to figure it out for myself how to even get that motherfucking help. Because any help I ever got financially, I paid that shit back in full. So still I ain't getting no help. I still didn't get a handout because I had to pay that shit back. I ain't never had a handout. Always had to pay back. That's the life that I know. Okay. But again, you have to have the capacity to look at these things in yourself. You do. A lot of people don't have the capacity to self reflect like this. I mean, a lot of people do not have the capacity to self reflect. And I mean it. They don't know where to begin when it comes to this. You understand what I'm saying to you? And shit, that's not their fault. What gets to me is people claiming to be so goddamn spiritual and they can't figure it out. See, that's when you get dragged. When you're spiritual, you have shit figured out. Believe it or not. When you're spiritual, you just can understand yourself a lot more than most people. Okay? Hold on. And that's just what it is. Because you're in tune. To be spiritual just means you're in tune with your spirit. You're in tune with feeding your spirit. You're when something happens, you go inside yourself. Something goes wrong, you go inside yourself. You reflect. You don't take in it. You don't accuse yourself. You just go inside yourself. You feeling some kind of way, you go inside yourself. That's a spiritual person. When you're a spiritual person, you understand a lot of things. You just understand energy a lot more. You're more in tune with that space a lot more. Okay? Another thing to note, y'all, I think that from what I've come to see is that a lot of people are not as spiritual as they spiritual is just a word that they just use, but they're not really that. You get what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I sit here and I look at all this stuff, right? And I mean, I look at all this stuff, and I mean, I sit here and I look at people because I'm a people watcher, and I listen to people too. Yeah, I didn't tell you that part. I listen to people. And what I have come to see with people is that they simply are sometimes very clueless. They simply are sometimes, let me see this message. Just they just be peopling. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. They just be peopling. I think that like I mean I think y'all get what I'm saying without me saying it. You know what I mean? Cause like a lot of people like I don't think I just feel like when you get to my age, you just like it's not hard to figure shit out. You feel me? You know, it's like you eventually be like, you know what I mean? You know, you eventually just put it together, one and two together. You know what I mean? It's not all this extra shit. Does that make sense? It's not all this trying to figure this out, figure that out. It's not all this trying to well why people do this and why people do that. You know, it's not when I tell you it's not none of that. It's not none of that. You get to this age, you just be like, I it is what it is. Feel me? It comes to it is what it is. And this is just who I am. And this ain't gonna ever change about who I am. Because this is who I am. And that's it. And I say that's it because it's just it's all these different things that people are making bigger than what it is. These divestors, go get you a Brad and all this stuff. It's much deeper than that. Gotta go. Thanks for tuning in.